Now I want it to blink. I want to set this to blink. So first I'm going to make a variable. It's going to be like a countdown timer, and I like to use this countdown timer method when I need something to happen for a period of time. So I want something to blink, and I'm going to set it equal to 200. Now that I have my blink variable, I'm going to make some changes in the act method. And we are going to change the transparency of the image over time. And we're going to see how it works in a second, but let's get it started. So first I need a Greenfoot image. I'm just going to call it image equals get image. So that is going to get the current image. Now I want to change the transparency, and well, maybe you don't know how to do that, but if you double click the world class and click on package here, there is a Greenfoot image package. And if I look in that, there should be a method down here that lets me set the transparency. So I'm going to scroll down, and here, set transparency. It takes in an integer, but how does it work here? It says it takes a value from 0 to 255, where 0 is completely transparent and 255 is opaque, which is not transparent. So I could do something like this: image.setTransparency to 0, and that would be completely see-through. And then I could set the transparency to 255, and this is normal. So that's how I'm going to make something blink. And you could do this with anything. It doesn't have to be our text here. You can do this with any image. I also need to, oh, that's it. Okay, so this isn't going to do anything right now because I have these back to back. It would look normal. But what I want to do is subtract 1 from my blink variable. And as it's subtracting, matter of fact, I'll do that right here on the last line. Blink minus minus. When it gets to a certain value, I want it to turn on and off. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to go right here, give myself some room, and I'm going to say if blink %10 is equal to 0. Now, what exactly does that mean? What does this percent mean? Well, it's the modulus operator. So let me explain what this percent or modulus does. I have a little presentation that I need to switch to. And basically, the percent sign, it's called modulus, but it returns the remainder from a division problem. So, well, what does that mean? Well, if I type 5 modulus 2, it means this: find the remainder of 5 divided by 2. And it's just finding the remainder. And if you remember back to elementary school math, when you did long division, you'd figure, well, 2 goes into 5 twice, and then 2 times 2 is 4, and then I subtract, and I get a remainder of 1. So this is the answer. If I did 5 modulus 2, the answer is 1. So what is the remainder when I divide 5 by 2? The answer is 1. And that's what modulus does. So what is this asking? If blink modulus 10 is equal to 0, that means a remainder of 0. So that means whenever blink is divisible by 10, so we're starting at 200 and going down, so it's going to be 200, 190, 180, 170, 160, 150. Whenever that is the case, I want something to happen. And what do I want to happen? Well, I have an if statement, so I make sure I'm going to type my curly braces in here. And inside there, I'm going to have another if statement. I'm going to copy this one just to speed it up and put 20 on this one. And what is this saying? Well, this is a divisible by 20, so I'd have 180 and 160. And if that's the case, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to cut it and paste it here. If it's perfectly divisible by 10, I want to check to see if it's perfectly divisible by 20 first. If it's perfectly divisible by 20, then I'm going to set the transparency to 0. If it's not perfectly divisible by 20, meaning it's only perfectly divisible by 10, and what does that mean? Well, a number of 190 is perfectly divisible by 10, but not by 20. So this is going to alternate. Every 10 times the blink variable gets changed, we're going to do something different. How do we do that? Well, here I'm going to put else right here. Else. I'm going to take this line that I already typed, and I'm just going to drag it up there. And right now, this should blink. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to compile, make sure there's no errors. And I'm going to take my stage, put it on here, and I'm going to run it, and it should just blink. It should blink indefinitely there. So that's the end of this video. If you have questions, you can call me over and I will help you. Otherwise, move to the next video.